Hello, and welcome to another Two Raccoons in a Trench Coat podcast. I am your co-host for this episode, some guy with a microphone. And today, I'm joined by the one, the only, second raccoon in this trench coat.
It's very hot in this trench coat. I am some guy with a hat. Don't know why I'm on the bottom of this trench coat since I'm wearing the hat, and it might make sense for me to be on top, but logistics be damned. How's everyone doing today, tonight, whenever it is you're listening to us? Thank you for stopping on in for another installment of this podcast. We've got probably a little bit of a shorter episode for you today, but it should still be a good one.
I think we're going to have some good discussion. I think this is going to be a favorite episode for older moviegoers and newer moviegoers that are mad about certain things that happened this past couple weeks.
That's on my list. We are... Whew.
I'm still mad.
Oh, yeah, for good reason. For good reason. All right. As always, as you know or should know, we start off every episode with some trivia. 5 questions. You're going to have 60 seconds to answer. If you don't know, you should pass. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right. Your time will begin after I finish asking the first question. In what year did Arnold Schwarzenegger become governor of California?
1979.
True or false? Mud can make your body invisible to infrared sight.
True.
What is the race of alien sports hunters called?
They're called Yazaroks.
What historical artifact is in both Predator 2 and Prey?
The Holy Grail.
Who was the spokesperson for Subway in the early 2000s?
Ooh, early 2000s. Jared the Predator.
All right. I have your responses written out. How do you feel like you did?
I got the last one for sure, and I was like, how does this connect to the theme? And then I said it, and I was like, oh.
Yep. I don't know if that if that question's making it into the episode, by the way. I still have to figure that out.
I think it's been long enough.
Yeah. I looked it up and it was like 2000 to 2015, and then yeah, it's been 10 years. I think we're fine. All right. Actually, let me write down your time, even though it doesn't matter. All right. Question 1. In what year did Arnold Schwarzenegger become governor of California? It's in 1979. The answer is 2003.
Really? Was that recent?
Yeah.
I thought they elected him, like, before I was even born.
Well, that was before you were born.
I was in school. I was learning math.
Yeah, but, like, were you alive yet?
I was 8.
Yeah, possibly. True or false? Mud can make your body invisible to infrared sight. You said true. Technically, it is true for a very limited amount of time.
Yes.
Definitely not the length of time that it shows in that first film, but
No.
we can get to that.
I had a whole course on that in the military.
Oh, nice. Did they reference that exact scene?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, military's big on using movies because most people have seen movies.
Isn't there a thing, I think, what's his name? He died recently. He was in Heat. His name have a V in it? He was also in
I know
Top
the
Gun.
movie Heat. I love the movie Heat. Who died recently?
The blonde guy.
That helps me almost none. Heat.
Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer.
That wasn't recent, was it?
He died recently.
When did Val Kilmer die? Oh my god, April 1st. That was kind of recent.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a clip of him saying, like, yeah, the military sometimes show the clip of him, like, reloading in Heat, and they're like, that's how you should do it. So, yeah, it's kind of neat.
Huh. Yeah.
Question 3. What is the race of alien sports hunters called? You said Yazarok. You're close.
Mhm.
It's the Yautja.
I knew it was like started with the Y.
Mm-hmm. Question 4. What historical artifact is in both Predator 2 and Prey? You said the Holy Grail. The answer is Raphael Adolini's 1715 pistol.
Huh. Yeah.
Yep. Question 5. Who was the spokesperson for Subway in the early 2000s? You said Jared the Predator. It is, in fact, Jared Fogle. So that is 2 for 5. Not too bad. Not too bad.
You did great this week.
All right. For those of you who haven't picked up on it yet, we are talking about the Predator franchise. No Jared Fogles included for the remainder of the episode. I don't have a whole ton of history with this franchise. I actually just watched the first 3 for the first time a few months ago. I'm going to keep recording, but I'll be back in like 1 minute.
Got it. Hey there, time for a quick ad break. If you would like to sponsor this podcast or know someone who could really use some cheap sponsorship, send them our way. That's Tworaccoonspodcast@gmail.com. 2 C's, 2 O's, no spaces. Tworaccoonspodcast.com. I was incorrect. I said I gave him the wrong email address. I gave him the wrong email address.
You gave who the wrong email address?
Anyone who wants to sponsor us, you're gonna have to cut that out of the episode.
Would the email address be 2 raccoons in a trench coat? Or no, I just gave the wrong one. You messed me up. 2raccoonspodcast@gmail.com. 2 C's, 2 O's, no spaces.
Yeah, I said 2raccoonspodcast.com.
No, we don't have a website yet.
No, not yet. Not till we get how do we get that sweet Nigerian prince money? Any day now it's gonna come in.
Yeah, I mean, they call me every day constantly, so. But yeah, like I said, I don't have a whole ton of history with this franchise. I'm aware of it. I know about some of the controversies about one of the latest films. I know some of the later films are also really good. What about you? What do you feel about this franchise?
So, I remember seeing the movies a while ago. I was quite young, I think, when I first saw them. I was too young. I was a big child, not in the sense that I was fat or tall, but I was a big child in the fact that like I was allowed to do like more adult things than I should have been, and one of that big things was movies
And drinking and driving.
Yeah, that too. I watched Scarface at 9.
Oh,
Too young for Scarface. Anyway,
it's obviously a 10 thing.
Yeah, that's like a 10, maybe 10 and a half. But I remember a lot of action scenes, and remember a lot of shooting, and also sort of going, come on, do it! I remember a lot of that. That's also the franchise that got me into one of my favorite movies of all time, True Lies, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
So, it's a great platform franchise of films for Arnold Schwarzenegger, who then became governor of California. So I didn't think it was a political movie.
Yeah, it launched his political career because they saw how well he mopped up some resistance or freedom fighters or whoever it was in that jungle in the first film. And they're like, hey, we want this guy making decisions for California.
You know what? Get him in there.
Yep. Yeah, so I think the first 3 are pretty decent. Like, I think the third one's probably my favorite just because it has that larger cast of characters and they're stranded on this alien planet, so there's no backup. They have to survive on this planet, and they fight the other like advanced predators. I had a good time with the third one, but really, like, this is probably going to sound really controversial. I don't think the first and second are anything super special. Like, I can see where if you saw this at an impressionable young age, that it could be like one of the coolest things ever. But watching this for the first time after I already knew so much about the franchise, I wasn't as impressed.
That's fair.
What do you think about the design for the Predator?
So honestly, really cool design. Really love like the the lean into like the traditional or tribal like hunting methods and like um the mix of like sci-fi technology but also like prehistoric like take like it's a persistence predator with stalking tactics. It's not like a super weapon from outer space, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
it's a really cool mix of like how it was designed, how it hunts, how it works. Um I think it's really cool. I think it's probably one of I think it is one of the most iconic character designs we've ever seen. Um Even though it's not again, it's not from one of the most not from one of the most like well I mean it's a well-known film, but name me one person you know personally that goes, "Oh yeah, Predator's my favorite film or film franchise."
exactly. It's also in a really weird spot in pop culture because it's not a straight action movie. It's not a straight horror movie. It's like a
Mhm.
I'd put it in the same vein as like a Jurassic Park almost, to where like there are
Yeah.
horror elements, but it's I don't know, it's not a true horror film. What is I think the most horror adjacent film in this franchise, probably the fourth one. From what I've heard, it's really bad. Have you seen?
Yeah. No.
No,
I have not.
it's the one with Keegan Michael Key is in it. For some reason, it's almost like they wanted to make it half comedy, which is weird because I think that one was directed by Shane Black, who was in the first one. But from what I've heard, they made some really weird decisions in the film. Um, like the Predator's main purpose of being on Earth is to
Mhm.
get, is it blood from people with autism? Because I guess autism is the next step in human evolution. So the kid with autism in the film, it has like superpowers or whatever, and it's really weird. Just I think it's almost insulting from what I've heard about the film. It does not sound like it was handled correctly.
Now, I've never heard anything good about it.
The only good thing I've heard, and that's just more of like um, cut ideas for who or what the pod was. So I guess in the film, one of the MacGuffins is like a predator brings a pod that has something in it that's gonna like help save humanity because I guess a war's coming or something. Um,
Mhm.
and some of the rumors were that originally that pod was gonna have Dutch in it, which would have been his first
Oh.
return to the franchise, or one of the wildest things, it's gonna have Newt in it from
Oh.
from Aliens,
Mhm.
which is wild because she died off screen in Alien Cubed. But then again, so did Hicks, but then he was like retroactively not killed in a video game, so I don't know what's canon with that. But that would have been cool to tie it into the Alien franchise in that way with Newt. But no, I think what ended up happening, it was just like an Iron Man suit that popped out of that thing. So it's like, okay, cool, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah. Like,
But
oh, this had so much potential, and then here we go.
like my life. Speaking of the Alien franchise, they teased that the two franchises were connected back in Predator 2 when Donald Glover was in the end sequence on the Yautja ship and they had that fight. In one of the display trophy cases, you could see a xenomorph skull in there. And I don't know if they did like an Alien versus Predator comic book before Predator 2 came out.
Hmm.
But I know the two franchises have had interconnected history for a long time,
Mhm.
which it culminated in 2004's Alien vs. Predator, uh, which is
Banger
interesting.
movie.
Yeah, it was okay. I think the biggest issue was that it was PG-13
Yes, that it needed to be rated R.
for sure, which then they made the sequel R, but then from what I've seen, they also like it was really dark, like not content-wise, but like physically, all the
Yeah.
shots were way too dark. So you really
Yes,
couldn't tell what
it
was going
came
on.
from it comes from that film era where um making things less visible made them cooler.
Yeah, it's very
Um
2007 coded.
yes, just like how we never saw Half-Life 3 and it's the coolest game ever. 2007 was the year for video games and we still didn't get Half-Life 3.
Well, there's always 2026.
Steam is making a console now. We're never getting Half-Life.
You never know, it could be a launch exclusive.
I No, it won't. Because Gabe loves us, but not that much. Anyway, continuing from my trauma.
um, you know, it was interesting, but it still doesn't. Alien vs Predator still doesn't fully connect the two universes because everything in AVP can work within the already established Predator franchise. But with Alien, you have so much content there with like comic books, video games, I think at that point, and the films themselves. It completely contradicts some things. So it's a known thing that Predator is not canon in Alien, but Alien is canon in Predator. So it's a weird kind of relationship there, which I know in the trailers for Predator Badlands, um, I think the android character mentions mother. You can see the Weyland Yutani logo, and they have like uh, the alarm screech kind of sting that you hear in a lot of the alien stuff. So we didn't see it, and we'll get to why we didn't see it in a little bit. Uh, but I'm curious if this is the installment where they decide to, hey, let's actually fully integrate these two things. Um, because before, I think in AVP, it wasn't really Weyland Yutani because it was no, it was Wayland, right? Lance Henriksen plays Wayland in that
Maybe?
because Lance Henriksen played Bishop in Alien and Alien 3. But Bishop was an android, and then in Alien 3 at the end, the quote unquote real Bishop shows up. But there's like debate on if that's actually him or just another android. But then in AVP, I'm pretty sure he's playing Wayland. So it's just, again, it's a turn your mind off movie. You're watching a movie about two wrestlers in alien suits fighting each other, which I think it did a good job of in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think a lot of the conversations I heard going around in like 2018 around the time of the fourth film coming out, I was like, oh, this is going to be a return to form. It's going to be a great film. And then it wasn't. But then Prey came out in, I think, 2020, 2022-ish era. And I heard that was amazing. And from what I've seen, it looks amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it myself.
Yeah. But it seems like everything they're putting out now, people are seeming to like it from what I'm understanding. Which is good because it's good to see a franchise rebound a bit after a misstep.
Yes.
Um, but you know what is not forgivable?
What's that?
The release for Predator Badlands. Now, Predator Badlands came out, I believe, November 7th. Let me look that up to triple check. Yep, November 7th. You and I were talking about going to see it. I think we started talking about it on the 13th.
Yep.
To see it that coming Sunday, which would have been a week and a half after. It was already out of theaters at that point.
Yes, it was.
And you know what was being shown in place of Predator and everything else?
What? Remind me, what is coming out to theaters?
Oh, if you want to go see a movie this weekend, well, hope you want to see Wicked. Or you could also see Wicked in any of the other 10 screens that theater has.
I get that it's popular, and I know it's going to make an absolute metric fuck ton of money. And this is a horrible thing to wish on any studio. I hope all the executives get caught on the Epstein files.
For some of our friends in the audience who enjoyed the movie, that was a joke, and that comment does not reflect on the Two Raccoons podcast and our opinions officially.
Listen, they mildly inconvenienced me one time.
Yeah, true.
They gotta go.
True. No, it was insane because I've mentioned before on the podcast that, I'm surprised that this film is still in theaters or it had an impressive run. And it was almost getting to the point where I was getting optimistic, saying, maybe, theaters are starting to make a little bit of a comeback. But this one absolutely tanked my hopes and dreams, especially because everything I've heard of Badlands so far, it sounds like it is a good film. So for it to only get a week of screen time is criminal. It's just so unfortunate for not just the film or the studio, but films in general.
So, how did it do at the box office while it was still around?
Let me look that up for you right now.
Thank you. Because I have questions.
Looks to be around 159 worldwide, 76 domestic.
76 domestic. How much did it cost to produce?
Let's see. Badlands budget. Ooh, 105 million. So
And it made 150 domestic? Or 150
150 worldwide.
Oh.
Yeah, that's rough. But 150 for 1 week, not bad.
It's actually not bad at all.
No, I mean, you could probably get... Okay, if it had been like 3 weeks, I would imagine it would have gotten around between 220 and 275.
Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah, so it definitely would have been a bigger return on your investment. And while it did make its money back, that's only by like, what, 50 million? That's definitely...
It's enough to buy one executive enough cocaine to last till his next movie. That's it.
Yeah, it's not a success in the eyes of the executives, unfortunately. Which is all their fault because they only put it in for a week.
Here's my thing. I don't know if it's so much their fault. I think it's the theaters that are like, listen, everyone's gonna see Wicked, so we're gonna make everything Wicked. We're gonna have Wicked popcorn. We're gonna have Wicked drinks. And just, I'm being overly cruel to Wicked because the people I know personally who are huge fans of Wicked are insufferable.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, this is what, and it's not fair to point at these two people that I know and be like, you are the target demographic of Wicked, and therefore you are the entirety of that genre. They're all like you. To be fair, you can do that with Sonic fans.
Yeah,
you can't do it. But it's just like, I'm overly mean because the two people that I know that are constantly going on and on and on about Wicked 2 or Wicked for Good, whatever you want to call it, they're just insufferable.
You do know that both our theme park correspondent and our yet to be featured guest friend um, loved the film too, right?
Yes, but they're not awful.
Okay. Just wanted to make that distinction. That while we
Here's
are
the thing.
picking on people that we know, not people who.
These are people that you nor those people have ever met.
That's what I figured. I just wanted to make that distinction.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I know they're a theme park correspondent. I'm having a stroke.
Burlington Coat Factory.
And our to be announced guest are fans of it, but you know what they're not?
Um,
They're not constantly flooding our social areas with memes and hype trains and everything about the film. I'm sure they do it to each other, and that's perfectly acceptable and fine. It's the same way that, like, I like Chainsaw Man the Rize arc.
mm-hmm.
And you know that our Canadian correspondent really likes that movie.
Yeah.
We have shared a few fractional memes in the main chat. Our direct correspondence has been nothing but hype trains about the movie, the manga, the anime, the mangaka, all of that for like 3 weeks. It's just back and forth, just hype train bullshit levels of insanity. But we keep it in the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're not a bad person for liking Wicked. You're not a bad person for seeing Wicked. You're a bad person if it's all you care about. At least they care about D&D. Moving on.
Getting back to my list here. It's kind of funny how there are no repeat protagonists in the films.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, you have Dutch in the first one. You have Donald Glover in the second. You have that ragtag group of survivors in the third. And then, I mean, I don't even know who you have in the fourth. Some Joel Kinnaman lookalike. I don't think it really matters. But each film, you have fresh eyes and fresh takes on how to take down this predator, which is fine to a point. But now I think it's time to revisit. I mean, even though that could probably come off as like, oh, they're just nostalgia baiting. But with this franchise, these hunters are built up to be like the ultimate hunters. It would be nice to see what someone who has survived an encounter with them, how they prepare for their next fight, and just see like the evolution of some of these characters, which I think an animated film came out very recently. That's kind of like an anthology thing. It takes place over 3 different time periods. It looks very interesting, something I want to check out. But something that got spoiled for me, so I'm going to spoil it for everyone else, I guess. They have. Do you want to know?
Yes.
Okay. They have. I think they showed Dutch and Donald Glover frozen in cryostasis at the end of the film.
Oh.
So I don't know if they're teasing something, if that was just like an Easter egg. But it felt kind of cheap as like an excuse of where these characters have been this entire time. Right. Because like I think for every single subsequent film they've talked, oh, what if we bring Dutch back? What if at the end of the film Dutch shows up and he's like, hey, good job team, come be a part of this predator killing team. But I think the only time they were actually serious about it, it was during his electoral race, so he couldn't.
Right.
So,
I desperately want a Predator movie now where the Predator is like giving this, let's say like there's a new protagonist, we'll call him Vance. And Vance is having like a really hard time with defeating the Predator. And like the mystery machine shows up and out pops all the previous protagonists. But they're dressed as the Scooby-Doo crew.
you'd given me 20 years, I don't think I'd ever imagine where you were going with that.
Like, and they just put Vance in like a polo shirt and an ascot, and they're like, "You're our Fred now."
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know. I don't know why, but I like because that's the only way I can see them being an ensemble cast.
Yeah. Yeah, and the ensemble thing worked to a degree in the third one. The only reason I say it didn't is because they're all supposed to be at odds a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's understandable why it never really lined up that way. But I agree, that would be nice to see. Um, not to the levels of like an Avengers event, but yeah, like a team up kind of thing. I
Yeah.
mentioned last week, at the end of last week's episode, I had a clue to the content of this week's episode. As of the time of this recording, November 25th, I have not seen any comments so far. So the clue that I gave is that Peter Cullen stars in this franchise. While he's not technically on screen, he does do the voice of the Predator in at least the first one. Peter Cullen's known for voicing such fan favorite, childhood favorite characters such as Optimus Prime and Eeyore and the Predator.
You know, Autobots roll out, Depression, and the Predator.
I saw some interview that he gave on the story of how he got cast as this, and it's kind of funny. And to pad for time for a bit, because we're not even at half an hour yet. Oh, we're a little over half an hour. He said he was auditioning, and he's like, all right, so what am I supposed to do? And they're like, well, create this voice for this character. And he's like, well, I need to see an image of this guy. And they're like, we can't do that, because it was an interview with the executives on the other end. And he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And I guess they wanted him to do the voice. So they went back and forth, and eventually they showed him like a rough image, because it was really confidential at the time. And he did his low, like, growl per animalistic sound. And they couldn't hear it on the other end. So the executives are getting really pissed off. And eventually, after they bumped the audio up, after a while, they came in, they strolled in, they were smiling, like, hey, total tone shift. So, like, we found the guy.
Yeah.
That's all I have on my list.
I was going to say, I have nothing more to say about this franchise. I give it, you know what? On a blind rating, I give the franchise a 6 out of 10.
I was thinking about
You should
a 6
watch
as
it.
well. Yeah, 6.
Watch it sometime, but it's not going to be it's not going to be anyone's personality.
Yeah, I mean, unless, yeah, please don't make this franchise a personality. I don't like. There are some cool moments and some cool shots throughout, and it's never.
Oh, yeah.
I was never like, oh, this is boring, I want to turn it off, but I was never fully engaged in it either.
Right. Like, you know, it's a good sandwich. It's a good sandwich.
Not the best sandwich I've ever had.
No, but you know what? It's a sandwich that you have it for lunch, and you're like, you know what? I'm satisfied. That was good.
It's the sandwich.
But
it's the film that goes well with the after pool sandwich. You get out of the pool, you're a little exhausted, you have that sandwich, you maybe put some chips on it, and as you're exhausted, as you're recovering from a long day at the pool, you throw on the Predator and turn your brain off and enjoy some soldiers in the woods shooting random people and random leaves for an hour.
You know, that's a very at that we have no more notes. That is a perfect way to end this podcast.
Yep. Well, I think this is setting the record for the shortest episode so far.
Would have been longer if Wicked 2 hadn't ruined our plans.
Oh my god. We will do, at first I'm like, you know what? It's not so bad. Like, once it comes out on streaming or home media, if it gets a home media release, we'll watch it and then we'll do a follow-up episode. But considering we have, let's see, 4 main films, 2 side, like 8 films to talk about right now, and we're not even like 40 minutes in, Uh,
Yep.
we might be struggling for that for that wrap up episode.
It's gonna be a tight one.
Yeah, maybe we push that to a wrap up episode where we have more stuff to
Yeah.
talk about. But I don't know. Did any of you see Predator Badlands? Did we miss out, or was it fine that it was only in theaters for 7 days? Let us know in the comments below or in the email, which, what's that email again? Some guy with the mic?
That would be Tworaccoonspodcast at gmail.com. 2 C's, 2 O's, no spaces. Tworaccoonspodcast at gmail.com.
Are you sure it's not just a regular .com?
I am vaguely sure. Quick question. What's the average dollar price of a movie ticket, do you think?
It depends on where you go. At the theater between you and me, it's about $9. At one of the larger ones, like in the mall, it's probably around 14.
So let's say 12 is an average.
Yeah, sure.
Statistically, 6,333 people. 6,333,333.33 people went and saw this movie. Tell us if it was worth seeing.
I mean, when you put it like that, that's insane. Like saying like, oh, 6 million people watched my movie.
And that's just domestic.
Yeah, that is insane. But again, with how much it costs to make the film.
Could you imagine us getting 6 million views on this particular episode?
And it's just going to be on this episode alone. We're going to buy the 6 million views for this episode. And it's going to go back down to 3 the next
Logan
episode.
Paul the shit out of this episode. All right. Well, I'm going to leave before I offend any other groups.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm probably leading in that direction too because I've got nothing else to say. All right. Thank you all again for listening. Hopefully we'll have a longer episode for you guys next time. I don't have a clue for next episode because we haven't planned that yet.
We don't plan things ahead of time.
Yeah, except for the past 3 weeks where we surprisingly did have a plan. Oh, maybe we can talk about... I have an idea, I guess. All right.
All right.
Thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time. I've been some guy with a hat.
I've been some guy with a microphone. Bye-bye!